I'm gonna stick to BDSM, battles, dragons, swords, and magic.
Cool, do it. I've never done this before.
Dude, I thought you were gonna teach me how to Dougie.
He was so kind enough to save us while me and my wife were stranded in the middle of the ocean.
My brain is so important to me. Also makes sense.
Come on! What's up, Radio Shade Surgeon here at Sunnyvale with a big red RV. And today, it's a little bit of a melancholy day. Today is our last day in the PNW. Well, our last day for now, but just because it's our last day and me and Shayleese are taking a red eye home tonight doesn't mean that I'm not gonna take care of some unfinished business. Before I go back to the Wang, get at least 2 out of 3 FXRs running. Now, while we did get Jason's Shovelhead FXR running, it's not exactly starting like it should. Starter was already weak to begin with, so we went ahead and did the right thing. Got a all balls chrome starter and new starter solenoid for it. These old school Shovelhead starters are notoriously anemic, and when you put one of these new ones on there, it literally sounds like it's spinning without spark plugs in it. So if you got a Shovelhead and it's not kick only, do yourself a favor. 2 out of 3, it ain't bad. I'll take it. Unfortunately, we had to go, so the BBC Old Bad Dragon, well, it's gonna have to wait for me to get back to the PNW to get it going, but I ain't gonna leave that thing sitting around for long. We got big plans for all 3 Shovelheads this summer. So keep your eyes peeled, because we're gonna be putting together some awesome events this summer with all 3 of those Shovelheads, sessions, Rap Star, and all the good weirdos of the PNW. So me and Shayleese here are going to continue to do as the Portlandiers do. And today we're going to Powell Books, although I don't know if the Portlanders go there or the Oregoners go there, but the tourists definitely go to Powell's City O Books. And it's right up my alley. A lot of you guys know, because I ain't shy about talking about it, I am an absolutely voracious reader. Now, that doesn't make me smart, although a lot of people will say if you read, you're somehow more intelligent than your average bear. I don't put any truck into that, because the stuff I read, well, it doesn't exactly make you smarter. All the stuff that I consume has mighty thews of barbarians flexing as they swing their battle axes, and bouncing goddesses full of jiggling bosoms, dragons and talking swords, and everything like that. So I'm not exactly reading cerebral entertainment here. I'm definitely, firmly, and always will be a fantasy man. Why would I want to read books about shit that can actually happen? I'll read the news if I want that, and that's depressing, so I stay away from it. I'm gonna stick to BDSM, battles, dragons, swords, and magic. I'm actually in a rare spot right now where I'm looking for book recommendations. I had a rare did not finish, a DNF on a book that, well, I don't know if I can't unrecommend it, but I say I didn't finish it, and that's a book called The Sword of Kaigan. Started out kind of slow, started getting strong, and then fell off a cliff. Just not into it. When they kill off the only character I actually cared about, and I find everyone else to be a whiny bitch baby in the book, I went ahead and put it down. I really wasn't into it. I've been thinking about picking up either The Black Company or Dungeon Crawler Carl. I like my fantasy with a little bit of humor in there. Don't make it so heavy I need help to lift it, baby. I like to have a laugh here and there while still keeping it dark. I think the perfect example will of course be The Blade itself, Joe Abercrombie. Nobody mixes the absolutely most depressing shit you've ever read in your life with a little bit of humor like Abercrombie does. As the Bloody Nine says, we're all going back to the mud anyway, so might as well have a laugh along the way. I didn't even know Powell's City of Books existed until Shayleese told me the employees went on strike, which is about the most Portland thing I can freaking imagine. A bookstore's employees going on strike. It literally sounds like an episode of Portlandia. I'm sure they had a good reason. It just sounds ridiculous. And we'll see if Powell's City of Books has some bodice rippers for me, some real high fantasy, or if it's going to be nothing but poems written by left-handed Eskimo lesbian midgets. Or maybe it'll be a mix of both. I don't know. We'll see. The real question usually is, can the employees give me a good recommendation? Actually, you know what? That'll be the challenge. challenge. I'm going to go into Powell's Books. I'm going to tell the employees what I read, and I'll see if somebody can make me a good recommendation. I will get it, and I will come back to you guys with a review. And that'll be how I judge Powell's City O Books. Any bookstore can order the books and put them on the shelves, right? It's all about whether your employees can give a good recommendation. After all, what the hell else is going to set you apart? This place looks cool. Dude, this whole area looks cool. It also looks like the kind of place that your helmet would get stolen off your motorcycle. Patagonia store? It's the kind of place they check your credit before you go inside, dude. I don't know if we can shop at the Patagonia store. Shay's only piece of Patagonia she inherited. Oh, it's certainly big enough. You would think a store that big would have something I was looking for, right? Apparently you can't make a left-hand turn down here. Dude, how far do you gotta go to make a left-hand turn? Dude, it's Chinatown. Oh, take it easy. We'll move over a little bit. I feel like I knew they had a Chinatown. I just didn't know it had this big arch on it. Well, we haven't found parking yet, and we haven't been able to turn left in over a mile. And when we finally can turn left, looks like we're gonna have to look out for low pan in the streets. Speaking of BDSM, yeah, we're in Portland. It's freaking hilarious how it goes from whips and chains and leather and purple hair right into farmers and rednecks on four-wheelers out here in Oregon. It really cracks me up. I love it, by the way. It's pretty funny because out here in Oregon, at least around Portland, like I said, it turns into farmland so fast. Even the good old boys in the side-by-sides getting muddy on the weekends, they also still have purple hair and nose rings.
Oh, look, there's an armory.
Dude, hell yeah. And it's shaped like a castle? So I was all excited because I have my little tail bag here, and obviously in downtown Portland, nothing gets left on the bikes, at least nothing you care about. But Shay Lisi goes, hey, no problem, we can put it in my bag. I go, that's awful nice of you. I feel a little bad overloading you, until she goes, you're carrying it.
It's okay, I can be the man. I can wear the pants.
The sound's about to be not big enough for the two of us. Yeah, when in Portland, do as the Portlanders. I think it's a little abnormal to be wearing a pink bag that's on my back like I'm a Boy Scout.
No, I think it's fine. It's called fashion speed.
No, I hate backpacks. I look like the kid from Up.
You do look pretty silly.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Well, you can.
I got my backpack on. I got my shoes tied tight.
Wait, you want me to carry it?
Yes.
Really?
No, it's fine.
Like, there's nowhere to park.
Oh, life is hard. It's harder when you're stupid. So I rode us around for a freaking mile looking for a parking spot, and right next to Powell's Books, there's this. Good to see my man Piers Anthony still represented. Incarnations of Immortality. Definitely one of my favorite series of all time. I had an awesome time going to Powell's Books with Shay Lisi, though it definitely left me feeling a bit weird. When I first got in, I loved the recommendation. They had these little notes on them that kind of told you a little bit about the book and why the person liked that. I was like, wow, what an awesome idea. And while I didn't look anywhere besides the fantasy section, because that's what I was looking for, what I found there was a little annoying, is how I'll put it. There's definitely this kind of shift in fantasy and science fiction writing that's kind of trying to shoehorn, I don't know, gay main characters, trans main characters, people of color as main characters. I don't have a problem with it. Why would I have a problem with it? The only thing I have a problem with is bad writing. And I got a lot of wiggle room for what I'll actually consider bad writing. I read some books that are not considered very great, but I was familiar with a lot of the books that had recommendations on them, and they just had these glowing reviews talking about how, you know, the main characters were gay or trans or people of color. And again, like I said, it's almost hard to say that, because when you say that, you sound like somebody who's talking bad about it. Like I sound like this wild person who just hates this stuff. I don't. I read plenty of books that have plenty of different main characters, and I think some that are done very well who are very different from me, a random white dude from Florida. Unfortunately, those books didn't have recommendations on them, and I searched them out. The Greenbone Saga has 3 main characters. One of them, if you just described her out loud, would sound like your typical girl boss doing girl boss stuff and would annoy somebody. But Shay in the Greenbone Saga is so amazingly written and such a dynamic character who goes through these insane arcs over the 3 novel series. Absolutely phenomenal. novel. Another one of the main characters, Andon, is a gay man. Once again, beautifully written. It doesn't matter that he's gay, but it is a part of his character. It's a part of his identity, and I think it's handled beautifully. It was wonderful to read, and I think one of the best depictions of a gay main character in fantasy that I have personally ever read, and I was super disappointed to see that it didn't have a recommendation on the shelf. Now, Stephen King certainly doesn't need any recommendations from anybody to sell some more books, but Odetta from the Dark Tower series is just an absolutely amazingly written black woman who is in a wheelchair. I mean, this sounds like the most Portland thing you could ever think of. Like, this is a Lord of the Rings style trudging quest, and where the main characters have to do battle with supernatural bad guys at every turn, and he made one of the main characters be in a wheelchair. Now, still working around that and creating a great book and making Odetta a formidable character in the book, being like, I'm going to take this black woman in a wheelchair who has no legs, and she is going to be a gunslinger. Doing all of that is pretty freaking amazing. I don't know, man. I feel like stuff like that doesn't get enough credit. Certainly love to see representation from everybody across the spectrum in fantasy novels. I absolutely love it. Just don't use it as an excuse for bad writing. This is exploitation at its finest. And I don't know, man, as someone who rides a motorcycle, I think I'm pretty attuned to exploitation, because they just put a motorcycle in anything and go, well, the guys who ride motorcycles, they'll buy it. This is the same thing with blaxploitation in the 70s, rednexploitation in the 70s. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just an excuse to sell some novels that I don't think are very high quality, and have people defend them because they're putting the person they want to see front and center. It happens everywhere. There's nothing you can do about it. But I don't know. Powell's Books was definitely full of stuff like that. Also, absolutely tragic that Ken Liu doesn't have a staff recommendation. Just a quick PS on this video. Just because the staff recommendations were a little annoying to me, that didn't mean the whole bookstore just was excluding stuff that didn't fit the message. They had Larry Correa on the shelves, and if they got him on the shelves, they got everything in the store. But I don't think he's getting a recommendation anytime soon. See, I know this bookstore is equal opportunity only because they got my man Larry on the shelves. And if they have Larry Correa, however you say his last name, if they got Larry on the shelves, everybody's represented. Okay, P.S. I had to ask myself as I was editing this and watching it back through, like, why does this matter to me? This shouldn't matter to me at all, right? Right. Like, it shouldn't matter that people are writing bad fantasy novels and putting main characters in there that they want to see. Like, why does it matter to me? No one's forcing me to read those books. You know, nobody's shoving them down my throat. Felt a little shoved down my throat at Powell's Books, but like, whatever, man. I don't have to go to Powell's Books, and it doesn't, it's like I can pick out what I want there. Like, I don't even have to listen to the staff recommendations. So why does it matter to me at all? Why does it matter enough to say anything? And after recording that and filming it, and I just got to go like, actually, it doesn't. And I was actually really close to deleting that entire segment. In fact, I'm recording this PPS right now, and I still might just delete the whole thing, because honestly, it doesn't matter to me at all. It just was a thought, an observation. And I think that if it did matter to me at all, it's not the fact at all that it's somebody putting a gay main character or a person of color. That's not the part that matters. It's the fact that the fantasy genre, and the reason why I like fantasy and swords and sorcery and barbarians, is because of kind of this world that just gets exploited a lot already, because I already know that when a story is going to introduce the elements of sword and sorcery and fantasy and all this stuff, I'm already expecting it to be kind of bad. I'm already expecting to have to like give up a few things because I'm getting what I want, which is what I want is like this fantasy element. I'm already going like, okay, they know they can get away with some shoddy writing and some bad stuff, and they know I'm still going to buy it because it's in the fantasy genre. So anytime you start adding in something else where it's just like, okay, we already know you're going to buy it because it's fantasy. Well, we're also going to put this other thing in there, and we can get away with making it even shittier. And I guess like that's kind of annoying, where you're just like, dude, I'm already freaking bending over backwards to like something because it's in my preferred genre, and now we just got to bend over a little bit farther. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because nobody's forcing these books down my throat. And if somebody enjoys the hell out of a queer-coded romantasy with talking dragons and people get to bang them, like, who am I to judge? Knock yourself out. Half the stuff I read is probably just as ridiculous. And if you're reading that stuff, you know what? I hope you're enjoying the hell out of yourself. If the book's not hurting anybody and it has everything you want in it and a main character you want to see riding around gay dragons, then you know what? Knock yourself out. I'm not judging you. Have fun. And if there's a book about gay dragons that's written really well, you know what? I'll read that too. This place is the absolute worst kind of decision paralysis.
What do you mean? You never have to make a decision because there's always another one coming.
Yes, exactly.
Let's get it before it goes. Quick, faster!
That was a little stressful. I have a feeling that the coolest thing about this place is going to be the way you get your food. On a level of public sushi to gas station sushi, it falls somewhere in between. It'll make a turd. I'm going to get the biggest sushi ever.
Is that one bigger?
I already touched this one.
Bro, it's so big. It's oops all cream cheese.
This is premium content right now. Alright, here's a verdict for the biggest sushi roll ever. Not very good, but there is a lot of it. There are two ways I could have described that experience. One is a multimedia experience of rotating delicious items put out for my convenience for me to browse at my leisure. And another one would be dead fish on a conveyor belt. Sorry, Hannah, it'll make a turd. That was dead fish on a conveyor belt.
Good, that was gas station sushi that they took that was kind of gonna go bad, but then they put it on a conveyor belt to make it fancy.
They got us.
Wake up, Josh. Wake up, Shade Tree.
All right, does that look cool?
Yes. Got lots of zoom ins and zoom outs.
So this day was literally the day that we landed after coming back from the PNW. We had just done a red-eye flight back to Tampa because that's the best way to do it, to flip your schedule back around. And in order to keep ourselves awake, we decided to go out on the boat. So just keep in mind, we had been up since 7 a.m. the previous day, and about 3:30 in the afternoon, we were out on the water. I'm not complaining, it's pretty awesome. And after filming the end of the previous video, Maximum Brown, my crappy 1983 $1,000 boat with a 60 horsepower two-stroke Johnson on it, got a chance to prove its mettle.
Hey, hey! Sorry,
No, you're good.
I heard him yelling.
All right, well, I don't know if he was yelling at us because he's broken down or if he was yelling at us to slow down. We were in the channel within the speed.
No, he looks like he needed help.
Yeah, look, he's pulling out a rope. He needs help. Okay, cool.
See if you can help us out with the talk.
Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Absolutely, man.
Man, thank you, brother.
More than happy to.
Shut up.
He's fine. He just thought it's a big game.
You guys on that game?
Yeah, we're heading back. Which boat ramp you guys at? I'm Josh, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Shay.
So I'm definitely trying to act really confident here, but I was actually pretty nervous because I had never towed a boat before, and these guys looked like they knew what they were doing, so I was really afraid of embarrassing myself. You think at this point I would have immersion therapy over embarrassing myself, but it still happens, I promise you. I'm just gonna go slow, and I might have to straighten it out.
Cool. Doing it. I've never done this before.
It's my first time, I swear. Luckily, even though they had way more experience on the water than I did, they were really good sports about me going incredibly slow because I was too nervous to go any faster. And when we got back to the dock, Dante asked us just to dock up as well and wait a minute because he had a gift for us in his car. Well, I should have known when he shouted out his name was Dante. Ain't no normal people named Dante. Then all of a sudden I got up next to him and it's Dante the Hammer from the Harlem Globetrotters, baby. Just brought us up a sign bowl.
Yeah, this was a gift actually, because he was so kind enough to save us while me and my wife were stranded in the middle of the ocean.
Well,
it's not a Wilson, it's a Biden.
Trust me, if you couldn't tell, I got a pigmentation situation. I can't jump at all, so I won't be using it. It'll be on the shelf. Dante and his wife were actually doing a water test on a boat they were thinking about buying, so I don't feel bad talking crap about it. I will say this. It felt very validating to have my $1,000 boat that I fixed up and got on the water. It really felt good to have that rescue, that Sea-Doo switch or spark, I forget what they're called, which is a pretty expensive boat. I'll have to look up what they cost, but they're not cheap. I don't know, it just made me feel really good about my crappy little brown turd of a boat that brings me the same joy as a very expensive boat does, and also was able to rescue an expensive boat. Go check out Dante on Instagram, super cool dude. Talked to him for a little while on the dock, and he's thinking about coming out and helping out around Forgotten Angels. So great people. They already do a bunch of charity work in the Tampa Bay area and are looking to do even more. Very cool meeting them. So if you weren't sure, we are definitely back in Florida. On a mission to pick up Shay Lisi a shovel head motor, and Bilbo even came along. Shay Lisi and I have found ourselves in the Florida version of Twin Peaks. This place is completely devoid of people, but not devoid of stuff. Well, not completely devoid of people. There's a few creatures running around.
Why'd you put the fish next to our chocolate? That's us in another life.
There are 2 bars and a restaurant here, but neither one of them have any food or drink in them. This place is odd. It feels like the car from the Buick 8. It feels like the type of place that a low man would be at. There are signs of life, some signs of life, some creatures scurrying. Some facsimile of something that was once alive. I don't know who they're fooling. I don't know who they're trying to convince. Okay, this is officially the weirdest boat ramp I've ever been to, which isn't saying much because previous to this I've only been to like 1 or 2 different boat ramps. But it's one of those ones I see people mess up. Backing up a trailer because the boat ramp is so long. Who is that?
That's Sabrina Carpenter!
I don't know, just like every other fucking white chick. Can you get some footage?
What, of me looking at Sabrina Carpenter? Don't fuck up. You got 2 people and the selfie stick looking, and everybody looking at me. So get the selfie stick. Better fucking straighten out, bro. Just straighten out. Embarrassing yourself in front of another Ford. Don't fuck it up. First rapper ever to back a trailer.
Dude, it's long down there. I had to mess it up a little bit because I don't want to do it.
I get it, yeah, I get it.
So you're like, hey, dude, it's okay.
It's okay, you can mess up.
You know, you can mess up, dude.
Wow.
9 out of 10 people at the boat ramp are drunk. I'm not, but most people are.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, it's well known. I don't know how you would do this when you're drunk. You have to be a little bit better than me.
Well, don't get drunk. I'm not drunk.
Hey, wait.
That's for the dog.
Sorry, just answered.
You're not.
I was like, that probably wasn't for me.
No. It was for that red-handed thing you got the truck. That's a sweet dog right there.
Golly, dude.
That's hilarious.
You ready, Shay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Wait till that wake pass.
Yeah.
It's not a wake zone?
No, it doesn't seem like it's a wake zone. Throw it over.
Go, Shay.
These ones are just so far apart.
I've already learned a couple things about putting in on the St. Johns River. Number 1, there are no wake zones next to the boat ramp. And if you didn't know, you'd know real quick. People haul ass on this river. If you were caught hauling that much ass next to a boat ramp in the bay, they'd be on your ass like shit on stink. Going on the river for the very first time, just keep that one in mind. Well, if I thought I didn't know anything about saltwater fishing, I have reached new lows I previously didn't know existed when it comes to freshwater fishing. I don't know why I thought this would be easier. Maybe it's just because I've seen so many TV shows where people are catching bass left and right. And I've actually had somebody take me out bass fishing once before and it seemed pretty easy, but it definitely wasn't. And we got completely skunked on top of just not knowing what to do, not kind of knowing the rules of the river compared to rules of the bay, both those that are written and the ones that are unwritten. My first foray out on the St. Johns River was pretty frustrating, to say the least, and the most exciting part about this was picking up the shovelhead engine and seeing that really weird trailer park. After we didn't catch anything on the river, I tried to double down by buying some scratch-offs and hoping I'd win something there to massage my bruised ego, and you know what? We ended up winning $15 after spending $40. Winning $15 on $40 is kind of like catching a bass when you have a $100,000 bass boat. So I don't know, it kind of makes sense. It all tracks, right? Right.
Holy shit, I won $5.
Barrow's heart
That never happens.
Once again, we are definitely back from the PNW, though the skies are pretty much looking the same right now. Time to pick up where I left off after a couple of days running around, picking up that shovelhead engine for Shay Lisi and treating myself to a boat day. Well, actually treating myself to 2 boat days. I think I only ended up doing about 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 on my list of things to do before I left for the PNW. So time to pick up where we left off. We've still got the pontoon boat, aka the 8th passenger, the good ship Nostromo. Unfortunately, that 200 horsepower Johnson is exactly where I left it on the ground. I really need to get that thing off the ground. Adding to the list now, I've got new tires for my Goldwing. That's a good thing. And of course, after reminding myself that yes, I really don't like 4-stroke boat motors, time to get these 250 horsepower Mercs up and running. Before I start on any of that boat stuff, we do have another giveaway bike that I said I was gonna get running in that video, and then I didn't do it. So let's go ahead and make the Buell run, because that's getting given away in addition to the Miami device. And speaking of the square grouper, I'm definitely looking forward to putting some more miles on that thing. I gotta get in my miles while I can before that bike is one of your bikes. Okay, I'm just pulling the bikes out of the garage real quick, and okay, I wasn't gone this long. We were only gone a few weeks in the PNW. But apparently out of all the motorcycles they could have picked, they went ahead and picked Sisyphus to build a bird's nest in. I know the bike looks abandoned, but I swear it's not. Well, I'll go ahead and take that guy out of there. Well, you see, what had happened is I was about to start working on the bike, but something came up. And I'm just gonna go ahead and have to take, I mean, I guess I could take the truck, but that's no fun, is it? Let's go ahead and take the Miami device, the square grouper, instead. Maybe I'll get some work done later, but when Cami Bay calls, the idea of work just goes out the window.
So beautiful. Smile, say.
I did die.
It's all right.
I did show my tit though. You think it's a fucking game?
That sound system is amazing.
Dude, it gets so fucking loud. Okay, well, that was a distraction that took all day, but I'm not complaining. Now, let's get back to finishing that list. What I really need to do more than anything on that list is make that Buell make some cool motorcycle sounds. That is one of the other giveaway bikes besides the square grouper, but ain't nobody want to buy a ticket for a bike they ain't heard run, so let's do it. Well, I'm pretty sure this old Buell is going to need a carburetor rebuild on top of a few other rebuilds, but before we do any of that, get a battery in it and make sure it at least turns over and has compression. One thing you definitely can't forget about these bikes is they're race bikes, and it shows. And no, I'm not saying that they're the fastest bikes in the world. I'm saying they're race bikes, and it shows. Everything on it is super easily removable. This stuff is all made out of plastic. That wasn't to make it cheap. That's just how you build a race bike. And Eric Buell was never really that concerned about building a street motorcycle. All he ever really wanted to do was race motorcycles. And it shows.
The fuckers ate the whole thing.
Old Tuesday Shay Lisi.
This is my bird feeding outfit, okay?
Birds.
Dressed for what? My one precious little life?
No, you're not overdressed. It's time to work in the garage. Of course you got that on.
What's so weird about dressing like this?
Listen, I want to keep my head attached to my body, so I'm going to go ahead and say there's nothing wrong with it at all. Today, I am going to teach you how to do a compression test.
Oh, dude, I thought you were gonna teach me how to Dougie. Why?
No, I don't know why.
Because all my bitches love me. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin', and for you, and you to back it up and dump it.
The creeping vines in our shop over here are starting to look like we did it on purpose.
I chopped them all down the last time you were in Portland, and me and Cami completely pressure washed this whole shop and organized everything, but you would not be able to tell.
Isn't that the beauty of it all, though? I like the vines. Look, they look great.
What's the point of even doing the dishes if there's just gonna be more dishes? What's the point of doing your laundry if there's just gonna be more laundry? What's the point of organizing the garage if you're just gonna mess mess it up, I guess.
You're finally starting to get it. You see, I've been telling you this for years, and you've finally given up. I mean, you've finally seen my point of view. You realize that it's useless to fight the void. It's useless to fight chaos. You might as well just become chaos. All right, let's see if this thing's got any squish.
I'm gonna come hang out here and clean the garage. I didn't say I was gonna do shit.
Okay, I thought it was a Wednesday Addams outfit. I didn't know it was a maid outfit.
Wednesday Addams working off motorcycles?
I don't really know what Wednesday Addams did.
Me neither.
Except inspire a bunch of girls to dress like a 14-year-old.
I like clowns. I just followed this clown girl.
Clown girl, so hot right now.
I love clown girl.
Oh, she followed you back. We could use a clown girl. Is she pretty?
Yeah.
She's like ambiguously ethnic.
I think she's from California.
Oh, Mexican then.
Yeah, I think she's Mexican. I had to scroll hard to find out where she was from and like go into her mutuals. I'm a fucking stalker.
Everyone needs a hobby, Shay. It's all right.
Hey, mommy. I'm like, where do you live though? And it wasn't trying to work. I just really wanted to hang out with you.
This is the wrong battery. There we go. That's a better fit. Well, make sure you're following Shay Lisi on her Instagram if you want to keep up with her, not only just motorcycles, because there's a lot of that on there, but all of her other arts and crafts projects.
If your girlfriend doesn't have 13 in progress craft projects, you should probably be worried about what she's doing with her time.
The Chow has got to go on another road trip.
Where do you want to go next?
Let's go to the Everglades.
Let's go to the Everglades.
Right now, we have to talk about why they call me Captain Keys. Because only I have the keys to Halo. But I don't have the keys to that Buell, so it's a major key alert, so I gotta go over to Forgotten Angels, where all the lost keys lives. It's the city of lost children and the city of lost motorcycle keys. One of our constant struggles along with keeping batteries charged. Y'all know how it is. Shay's gonna stay here and inhale spray paint fumes. And what am I gonna ride over to Forgotten Angels? Well, we've got these giveaway bikes, the Buell and the Square Grouper, but we don't have a giveaway bike that Shay Lisi can ride until now. More on that later. Finally, a raffle bike that's Shay Lisi sized. Why don't you see how you fit on that thing? This Grom is decked out, dude. It's got pretty much everything you can do to a, well, Grom, it's a monkey. It's got pretty much everything you can do to a monkey. It's got Olean shocks, freaking billet swing arm. Just call this bike Mighty Joe Young. What's the verdict?
I need a helmet on.
Oh.
Even though it's small, this is a motorcycle.
Yeah, you're right.
That is a motorcycle. There's no reason I should be wearing that without a helmet on.
You're not wrong.
You know,
when
like,
you're right, you're right.
Listen, man, I'll wear high heels, I'll wear a skirt. I don't fucking want to ride without a helmet on. Dangerous. My brain is so important to me. The most important thing in my whole body is my brain. Also my tits.
Well, we can't find the key. Luckily, that's not really a big deal, especially on older bikes, or I guess this isn't that old of a bike, but it's usually not a big deal on race bikes either. They don't really put that much thought into preventing theft. Eric Buell was just trying to build race bikes. Oh, the only thing that holds the ignition in on this bike and most bikes from the 70s and 80s, and even a lot of bikes from the 90s too, is that little ring up top there. Really not abnormal for this to be the only thing holding your 3-wire switch in for your ignition. You see it all the time on older bikes. Harley Davidson, the accusations of them being yesterday's technology at tomorrow's prices were never more true than in the 90s. That doesn't make this a bad bike. This bike rocks. Luckily, you can get a new one of these with a new key delivered next day by Buddy Bezos for about 20 bucks. Now, instead of cutting any wires, I can just take these alligator clips right here. Bada bing, bada boom. We got light, baby, but do it crank. Part of bringing this thing back to life is making sure that it's worth bringing back to life, i.e. doing a compression test on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop these spark plugs out before I even try cranking it over. Does it have a clutch switch on it? Oh my God, it does. On Buells, it's always kind of weird the things you find on them that are just so Harley Davidson. Back in the day, they were kind of hopped up hot rod parts bin Harleys. And then you find these things on them that are just very not Harley Davidson at all, like a clutch safety switch. Has Harley ever put a clutch safety switch on their bikes? Maybe on the newer ones it has. It's just a really strange thing to find on one of these. All right, it cranks over. So far, things are looking good, but let's get out the old heartbreaker and really see what the tail of the tape is. Go ahead and zip tie this whole thing closed so I don't have to mess with it. And throttle wide open. Like 178 PSI, almost 180. And behind door number 2. Uh-oh, running out of battery. Let me get my freaking charger on it. We made it to 150 before the battery ran out of gas. Let's fix that. See if we got enough ass to freaking finish this sucker off. Cool, 175. Ladies and gentlemen, there are signs of life. Now, don't get me wrong, I assume that we're probably gonna have to clean the carb on this. That's usually part of bringing it back to life, but before I do that, we got compression. Let's see if we can get it to make some cool motorcycle sounds. That was the mission last time, after all. I think it's always so funny to see the kidney bean, the freaking dish on here off a Sportster and so many other motorcycles. Seeing it on a Buell just never fails to crack me up. There's nothing wrong with this air cleaner. It's just funny to see it on here. Yes, even Buell wasn't immune to being dripping with the screaming chicken. Yeah, smells like varnish in there. You gonna give us a French fried potato or what? I think it is. Come on. We got French fries, baby. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that carb's gonna need to be rebuilt, but I like the sound of that. We'll take it. Well, team, we got 2 pretty awesome motorcycles up for raffle right now for Forgotten Angels. This Honda Monkey, completely tricked out, and of course the Miami device. Mighty Joe Young and the Square Grouper. Which one would you pick? And yeah, I know, we got 2 awesome motorcycles. We have 3 motorcycles, just 2 of them are awesome. The Buell is going to get back up and running, and I know a lot of you guys out there would pick the Buell regardless over the Monkey or the Miami device. Let me know which one you'd pick down below, and you'll get your chance next week. We'll be pulling a ticket next week. Even though there's 3 weeks left to go on the raffle, we're pulling an early winner, and you're gonna get to make your choice between that Honda Monkey and the Buell that's in the garage right now, which I will have a video finishing that up before we pull that winner. As always, of course, 100% of all proceeds go directly to Forgotten Angels. Be a bad person doing good things. We're helping fund the Adderley House for Women. We are close to our goal. We are close to opening that up. It's going to house 22 young mothers, teenage mothers who've been made homeless, and help them get back on their feet and break the cycle of abuse in the foster care system. Go ahead and click on it if you can, and if you can't afford to give, please do not put yourself in a bad spot to do so. If you can't afford to give, well, $25 gets you a chance at 3 different motorcycles. That's gonna about do it for this one. We're still getting back to the swing of things after going back and forth across the country, so hopefully my vids are a little less ADHD and a little more coherent going forward. And it's always an adjustment going back and forth, but what can I say? I thrive in chaos. If everything was normal, well then, I guess I wouldn't have any excuse for sucking so bad, would I? Till next time, y'all, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shade tree, army. Shade tree, army. Who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shade Tree, army. Shade Tree, army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high. Shade Tree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.